When we talk about behavioural reactions to foods, we're talking about food intolerance, not food allergy. It's very important to understand the difference. Food allergy is a reaction to the proteins in food and is relatively rare, affecting less than 1% of adults and less than 8% of children under 3, usually with a family history of eczema, asthma or hay fever. It's a quick reaction, often occurring within minutes, and usually only a few foods are involved. In Australia, they are most likely to be milk, eggs, soy, peanuts or fish. True food allergies are relatively easy to identify, can be confirmed by laboratory tests and can be life-threatening.
I've got 3 young boys. 2 of them have severe allergies to dairy, peanuts and eggs. We carry EpiPens with us everywhere, which is quite scary at times.
Any form of dairy whatsoever can bring on an anaphylactic reaction. So we have to always have an EpiPen and antihistamines on hand.
Food intolerance is very different. It's a reaction to the chemicals in foods. Food intolerance is more common than food allergy, but much less understood. There's a much wider range of symptoms, including the same as allergy, as well as behaviour problems, migraines and irritable bowel symptoms. It's possible to have both allergies and intolerances. Mothers say that living with the threat of anaphylaxis can be very frightening, especially in a young child, but that the effects of food intolerance can be very stressful as well.
They're both very difficult, but I think when you've got into the routine of managing the avoidance of dairy completely to avoid the allergy aspects, that actually intolerance is harder. If he does have any accidental contact with dairy, antihistamines can fix the problem very quickly, whereas with intolerance his reactions would take 4 weeks to get over, particularly for amines. So intolerance interrupts his whole life. It impacts every other aspect of his life, his behaviour, his learning, his relationships with us, his relationships with his peers.
We were beside ourselves about 2.5 years ago with my oldest son. His behaviour was just off the planet. His kindy teacher was having trouble controlling him. We were having trouble controlling him at home. And to cut a long story short, we went on the fail-safe diet. We followed it through a dietitian and also with the help of Sue. And within 3 days, not only did we notice a huge difference in our oldest son, but my middle son, who is an asthmatic, was waking up less in the night, coughing.
With intolerance, everyone can be affected, children and adults and even breastfed babies, because these food chemicals can pass through breast milk. Intolerance is related to the dose of the chemical, so as the amount of additives in our food supply increase every year, you would expect more kids to be affected, and this is what is happening. Many foods are involved, effects can be delayed up to 2 or 3 days, and they can be cumulative and build up slowly. So it's very difficult to work out what's happening. It generally isn't until the kids stop eating food chemicals that parents can see a difference.
The day we changed the bread to bread made from the local bakery or Baker's Delight or one of the ones who don't use 282, David actually came out one day when he was getting ready for work and said, "Is he still here?" Because it was so noticeable. He wasn't bouncing off the walls. It wasn't taking half an hour to get his socks on and get him organised for school.
Most people who are affected by food chemicals have no idea, and there are no scientifically proven laboratory tests for food intolerance. The only way to find out what is happening is to do an elimination diet. The diet that I recommend as the most scientific and effective in the world is the low chemical elimination diet, introduced in the United States by Dr. Ben Feingold in the 1970s and refined over many years by Australian researchers. This diet was a godsend for us when we were battling with our daughter's behaviour, but it took us 11 years of hell to find it. No parent should ever have to go through what we went through. I thought everyone should know about this, and that's why I'm here.